All right, 14.4, solving trig equations. So a couple things we need to remember is the inverse trig stuff. So on the circle, where does inverse sine exist? Okay, right side. And what values does that take on? Theta's from what to what? What values down here? Nope. Yep, negative pi over 2 to, what's up here? Pi over 2. Let's see. Inverse cosine occurs where? Top, bottom, left, or right? Top. And what values does theta take on here? What's this value? 0. What's over here? Pi. And inverse tangent is where?
Same as sine.
Same as sine. So it is also from minus pi over 2 to pi over 2. All right, so much like we did back when we did, well, I'm trying to think of what it was. I don't know. Some of the other solving equations that we've had in the past, we have to check for extraneous solutions. We also have to do that with trig functions because sometimes we have those. So remember, these are solutions to the problem that are not actually true. So we check by plugging the solution back into the problem. To verify it works. All right, what you're going to notice is that some of these problems say something like find the general solution, or some are going to say find the solution on the interval like 0 to 2 pi, okay? So we have to check and see which one it's wanting for each particular problem. But if they say to do the general solution, what we're going to do is, for general solution, we are going to add 2n pi, okay, this is for sine and cosine, to include all possible solutions because there are infinitely many solutions. You're probably thinking, what in the world is she talking about? Okay, this is where like those coterminal angle things come in, right? If it's, 360 degrees or 720 degrees, right? The answer is that it's giving us the same answer, okay? And so that's where this adding 2 and pi is basically saying if we add 360 however many times that is, then we're going to get the same value out, okay? But we're doing it in radians, so it's 2 pi. If it is for tangent, we add n pi because tangent values repeat every increment of pi, right? If we looked at our unit circle at pi over 4, it's the exact same value as at 5 pi over 4, okay? So we just have to add n pi to those to get all possible values. So first problems here are pretty easy. They just say to verify that the given x value is a solution. So essentially just check and show that it's not extraneous, the answer that they give you. So we've got number 4, pi times the secant of x plus pi is equal to 0. And they say that x is equal to pi. So they're basically saying when they worked that equation out, or whatever it was, that x was equal to pi, and so we want to verify that that is the case, that pi is in fact the answer. So, and not extraneous. So I take and I plug pi in for x, so pi times the secant of pi plus pi equals 0. Now, secant of pi is not on our unit circle, but we can easily find it. So what is the secant of pi? What trig function is secant associated with? Cosine. Okay, so what is the cosine of pi? Okay, cosine of pi is -1, so what would the secant of pi be? -1, right? Because it would be 1 over -1, which is -1. So this is negative pi plus pi equals 0. So 0 equals 0, and we verified it. All right, now that one, pretty simple, right? This next one is going to get a little crazier just because of what they're giving us, but 3 cotangent to the 4th of x minus cotangent squared of x minus 24 equals 0, and they tell us that x is equal to 7 pi over 6. You've almost survived trig. You might as well stay at this point. Well, yeah, because we won't be doing trig anymore. All right, so I'm going to initially just plug in 7 pi over 6, and then I'm going to talk through how I'm going to go about actually doing this. So 3 times the cotangent raised to the 4th of 7 pi over 6 minus cotangent squared of 7 pi over 6 minus 24 equals 0. So this might be a good time to remind you that the cotangent to the 4th of x is equal to cotangent of x raised to the fourth. Okay, so whatever that value is, so basically whatever the cotangent of 7 pi over 6 is, I'm going to take that and I'm going to raise that number to the fourth power. And that's going to be my answer for that part of it. Okay, so I'm going to initially just find the cotangent of 7 pi over 6 because that's not a value that I have directly on my unit circle. I have to find it. So I'm going to do a brief intermission here and just find the cotangent of 7 pi over 6. Yeah. So, cotangent. So it's 1 over the tangent of 7 pi over 6. So what is the tangent of 7 pi over 6? It is not root 3 over 2. Tangents don't have 2's in them. The tangent of 7 pi over 6 is this value. Yeah. Root 3 over 3. So this is 1 over root 3 over 3. So then keep, change, flip. We have 3 over root 3. It's just times 1. I rationalize that and I get 3 root 3 over 3, which reduces to root 3. Okay, now I was kind of obnoxious about writing out every little piece. You wouldn't have to do that. You might also remember that I told you that the tangent and cotangent values flip for the pi over 3's and the pi over 6's, but... So, I now know that the cotangent of 7 pi over 6 is square root of 3. So now, everywhere I see this, I can replace with square root of 3. I'm going to raise it to the fourth power, and I'm going to square it over here. So now, back to the problem from our brief intermission. 3 times the square root of 3 raised to the fourth minus the square root of 3 squared minus 24 equals 0. So what is the square root of 3 raised to the fourth? We do not need a calculator for this. What's square root of 3 squared? Let's start with that. 3. Okay, so this is going to be minus 3 minus 24. So now I just need to do this part. Okay, so I have that, right? Would you agree that the square root of 3 raised to the fourth is the square root of 3 squared times the square root of 3 squared?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yes. Okay, good answer. Okay, so that means 3 times 3, 9, times the 3 out front is 27, minus 3 minus 24, so 0 equals 0.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot.
I don't even think of pictures. I'm just taking this for future reference.
To go back and study. All right, these next problems are going to be general solution problems. Okay, meaning that we're going to be adding either 2n pi or n pi, depending on which situation we're dealing with, to the end of the answer. Okay, we don't do that till the very end when we're writing out our final answers. So, number 10, square root of 3 cosecant of x plus 2 equals 0. So I'm trying to solve for x. So let's just initially solve for the trig function. So how would I get cosecant of x by itself?
Subtract 2. And then square it. Oh, you divide it.
Yep. So then I'm going to divide, so cosecant of x is equal to negative 2 over the square root of 3. Now, I want to know where that is the case. However, I don't know cosecant values just right off the top of my head, right? Okay, so how else can I write cosecant?
100%.
Yep, 1 over sine. So we have 1 over sine of x is equal to negative 2 over the square root of 3. But do I know that value? So I have two fractions that are equivalent. I can flip them over.
Okay.
And they're still equivalent. Okay? Because basically, I'm cross multiplying without showing the cross multiplication. Essentially is what happens. So I'm going to have sine of x is equal to root 3 over negative 2.
Oh.
Now we know where this is, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, these are general solution problems, so I want everywhere that occurs. Okay? Not just where the inverse values are. I mainly review inverse values because I want you to remember that and not get like that lost. Okay? But when we're doing solving, okay, we're looking for everywhere that can happen. Okay? So where on the unit circle it occurs twice is sine negative root 3 over 2. 5 pi over 3, where else?
Wait, don't say anything about it. Don't use my brain. It's top. Is it in the top left quadrant?
So it has to be where sine is negative, meaning y value is negative. So we've taken out bottom right. Top right would be positive. Top left would also be positive.
Bottom left.
Bottom left, okay?
Wait, is it?
Did she when you get her?
Okay, you will have a unit circle for this quiz, so I will just give you one of my unit circles for this. But yes, okay, those are the two places that it occurs. Now, if it asks you for the specific solution, we would be done. But it says general, so I need to write it as 4 pi over 3 plus 2n pi, okay, because this was a cosecant. Now you're probably like, well, we only wrote that it was 2n pi for sine and cosine, but they're related, right? So this is also for cosecant and for secant. This is also for cotangent. Okay, so we add, for the general solution, 2n pi, and then x is also equal to 5 pi over 3 plus 2n pi. And it's just any number because when we were looking for general, it's every place on the unit circle, and there would be infinitely many places that are like occurrences of that. So we could replace n with 27, and we would get, on the 27th time around, what are these values?
Okay, I see.
Honestly, the general solution, it's useful, but usually we're looking for a specific solution when we're solving these problems. Anytime we're actually going to use them for anything critical. But such is life. They tell us we need to do this, so we're doing it. Let's see. 12. Sine of x plus the square root of 2 is equal to minus sine of x. Any ideas on what I might need to do here? Because I want the trig function written as 1 by itself. Basically, I want numbers on the one side, trig functions on the other.
Have sine x minus sine x equals negative.
What's the
Well, it can't be what you said because the SIGNs won't match.
But
Divide
I
the
You're on the right track, but you said the wrong thing.
I love when I feel like basic algebra.
Okay, so like think about it if I gave you 3x plus the square root of 2 is equal to 2x. How would you do this?
She's just using
It's crazy.
Disregard this. How would you solve this over here?
Minus
Subtract
3x.
the 3x. Or no,
Okay.
Yeah.
and that's it.
So that would be negative x. Okay, and then we would divide, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now over here, what would I do first?
Subtract sine x.
Subtract sine of x.
I'm smart, y'all.
So square root of 2 is equal to
Complicated.
minus sine of x. Minus sine of x is minus 2 sine x. Okay, just to make sure we've got that under control. Now I need sine of x by itself, so what would I need to do?
Divide by negative 2.
Divide by negative 2, so root 2 over 2, but negative, is equal to sine of x. So where on the unit circle is sine of x equal to negative root 2 over 2?
Stop, Mark. I got it.
It's in the middle.
Do you got it?
What?
7 pi.
It's in the
Stop. I got
And 5 pi.
Like what?
this.
Like what?
No, Christian, you got it.
Nah, I didn't know that. I lost hope.
Tap it.
You just, it's in the middle.
What?
The middle?
Middle.
The
It's
origin?
in the middle of the part.
I know. It's in the middle of the.
Okay, these are y values. Okay, so they have to be,
Is it bottom right one?
one of them is. Okay, now, root 2 over 2 is associated with what angle?
45 degrees.
45 degrees. Okay, so I needed in increments of pi, obviously because I need radians, but
Pi over 4. Or.
okay, well, pi over 4
Wait.
increments of that.
What's. Stop. Stop. It's
Bro.
5 pi over 3. 7 pi over.
Just do it in fours.
Okay, well, 7 pi over 4 is one of them.
7 pi over 4.
It's almost like I said. There's another one.
There's 2.
Wait.
You got the one in the bottom right. I need the one in the bottom left.
Wait. 5 pi over 4.
Are you proud of yourself?
Look at that. And you didn't even need a unit circle.
I remember my units.
I remember mine too. This is just quicker.
You're literally looking at yours.
Okay, so
The memorization quiz, man.
this is still general. So x is equal to 5 pi over 4 plus, we're dealing with sine, so plus 2 in pi. And 7 pi over 4 plus 2 in pi.
So you only add the 2 in pi
If it says general solution.
and okay.
So like these instructions say find the general solution of the equation. Otherwise they'll say solve on the interval blah blah blah. And it's usually 0 to 2 pi. Alright, let's do a tangent one. So we've had ones that dealt with sine and whatever, cosecant. So 3 tangent squared of x is equal, oh wait, not equal to, minus 9 equals 0.
Subtract 9 or add 9.
Add 9, so 3 tangent squared of x equals 9.
Divide by 3.
So tangent squared of x equals 3.
And then can you make that? Wait. Can you?
So remember, this is the same thing as tangent of x squared.
I was gonna say that. Take my thunder. Do it.
No, you got it. You got this one.
Yeah. So that. That. I don't know what to do from there.
Christian, you like square the 3.
Yeah, take the square root of both sides, so we'd get tangent of x equals square root of 3. So where is tangent square root of 3?
I got this.
Christian, you're taking too long.
Tangent is top, right? Or no?
Well, so
Or it's inverse. It's
Yes.
inverse, so it's bottom.
well, tangent is right side, first of all.
I
But
got it.
it's
It's
we don't really use inverse rules when solving because we're looking for everywhere that this occurs, not just those values. I just don't want you to forget those. That's why I give them to you at the beginning, because I don't want you to forget that that's a thing.
Okay.
But you don't really need that for these per se.
So is it pi over 3?
Yes.
And it's 4 pi.
Yes.
I got one.
No.
Oh, you have a huge you're gonna be
Hey,
screwed
yo,
up
you
on
can
mine.
do that.
You
It's
Is
suck.
it not? 2 negatives make a positive.
Crazy.
It's 5 pi over 3.
Hold on. There's a mistake in this problem. If you can figure it out, I'll give you a cookie point.
Mistake in the problem.
I'm gonna let y'all think about it. I'm filling my water.
Where does it start?
Add 9.
You have to figure that out. Think about basic algebra rules.
Okay.
I was just
Divide
seeing
3.
problems.
Tangent of x squared. I feel like it's somewhere around there.
Whoa. Way too quick.
Yeah, that
No,
was-
I'm not done. I was waiting on someone. I was just seeing what y'all are doing. No help with this. So.
Alright.
Somebody go on left and make them mix up.
Wait.
Maybe if I write it down,
This is a cookie
step
point
by
line.
step, we can get it.
Okay, yeah, go.
We could be.
This is a cookie point line. Coach. 3.
Alright, so we got.
There's no parentheses around the cheese.
This is a basic algebra rule.
Okay, so we added 9.
know.
I think basic algebra.
If you,
But it's so basic that I forgot
you
it.
didn't take the square root of tangent.
And we had.
I
That's
did.
not basic. That's not
But if
And
you do
then-
one side, you must do the other.
It's,
So like
it's
you
so,
can-
it's like, okay, think back to like.
Well, I don't have to write it. I
8th
did
grade
it.
year.
Tangent, square, and tangent.
Okay.
Think back to 8th grade year. Or whatever you
You forgot the id. Need to go find
You
one of
just
my mom's
redid-
algebra
Well, I
ones.
was trying to like
We
work
did
through it.
everything
I
she
feel like
did.
work through that.
You're
Sometimes it
technically
clicks.
the same thing.
Sometimes it
That
clicks.
is not help.
Shut up.
You just did the same.
Have you done anything? Like, see, you got that.
I don't know.
Wait, okay. Can we get a hint?
No.
Maybe
It's so basic,
Maybe it's
actually.
negative square root of 3. No, actually, square root of 3.
What? Add 9.
confusing me.
Hold on.
I feel like it's right here somewhere.
Me too.
Okay, that's when she was like, there's a problem in this.
Maybe she skipped a step of actually writing it like how she wrote it, or like she
Right,
didn't
you're
write it.
talking too much. And
It's
making
it's
me
not
nervous.
it's not something that I like just didn't that I just like didn't write. If that makes sense. Like
It's in front of our faces.
It's right here.
like it is something I didn't write, but not something that is so like I didn't need to like write the square root bar over tangent squared. It's not something like that. It's a rule of algebra
It's like one of the.
that is not on there that should be when solving an equation.
You should have tangent, like
Right.
tangent squared x
Stop.
in
It's
parentheses,
gonna be like.
right?
I
What?
did add 9
You should have
correctly.
tangent squared
You're
x
so
in parentheses, right?
Like what? Okay, can you tell us what step it's on? Like for 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's on
Yeah, the
3.
last one.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Or well, I guess it's technically in between the last two.
It's on. Yeah.
So it's that one.
So.
Yeah, but you wrote on the side, you didn't write in the thing, right?
Okay, no, you really just wrote
I
that.
don't need to write that in the thing. I did that for y'all.
Wait, I don't got it.
Say-
I don't
say-
got it. I
say
don't
what's in
got
your
it.
head.
No.
Say what's in your mind. Say what's in your mind. Is it like one of those
Give you 30 seconds.
laws?
30 seconds? I have no idea exactly how I do it. So if we don't have this step, would it like?
You gotta multiply.
Oh, it's gonna change the answer.
You gotta multiply.
Well, this answer is right. Pi over 3 is right.
You gotta multiply. The
But
x.
there's something else that's missing.
You gotta multiply
10 more seconds.
in the parentheses.
Is it just a negative sign?
Where are you getting a negative sign?
I don't know.
You gotta multiply the x in the parentheses.
The x has to be square rooted.
No.
Oh my.
All right, I have a question.
Okay.
Oh
Let's do
If I gave you this, what's the answer?
3.
Yes.
Okay, so y'all are gonna figure it out.
Wait.
Oh my-
Wait. Isn't it just
So we take the square root at the top, and then we get 3 equals 3.
Bravo!
What?
Isn't it just 3?
This class
I'm
feels so
stupid.
dumb.
Like I don't know why that has to do with anything.
Oh!
Oh!
No!
Ah!
So it wasn't a negative sign. It was completely off.
Ma, you were just saying
I was literally,
absolute
I was literally
rambunctious.
trying to
Ma,
stop
you were
there.
just saying.
But you
I'm
couldn't
still-
explain
You're
why.
like, what if
I'm
10 was
still
multiplied by cosecant times?
We take the square root. So not if I just say like, what's the square root of 9? You're not gonna tell me it's plus or minus 3. But if I tell you that x squared is equal to 9, you're gonna tell me that x is equal to plus or minus 3. Because if I plug it back
I
in,
get that.
if I square negative 3, I get 9. If I square 3, I get 9. So it's like all possible values that make that true. So what I should have done here is I should have done this. That was what I was trying to get y'all to tell me. So the tangent of x, so I'm going to do this. So the tangent of x equal to positive square root of 3 is pi over 3. The tangent of x equal to negative square root of 3 is where? Do the first one as you're going around the unit circle.
2 pi.
Yes.
2 pi over 3.
2 pi over 3.
You still get a cookie point because you got it wrong.
No, because you couldn't fix it. You have to be able to fix it. So, but remember with tangent, we're increments of n pi. So the general solution is plus n pi. Because again, if we added pi to this or 180 degrees to it, okay, that's still equal to the square root of 3. Okay, because the tangent values occur twice, the exact same value. Every 180 or pi around. So those would be our two values for that one. All right, we're going to stop there because I don't really have time to do the specific ones. Probably do a couple of the specific ones, and then we'll also do the checking of them. And then I might do a couple or one or two harder ones tomorrow, but we'll wrap up this section tomorrow, and then you'll have time to do the problems. So.